there is a commitment from the government for the disarming all militias, including so-called Janjaweed. So in another word, when we go to the negotiating table, we will demand that all militias should be disarmed, whether they call it Janjaweed or they call it other names.
Could I have a show of hands at the back? We'll take the lady in red first, and then we'll shift to this side, first to the person with the tallest hand. Go ahead.
Mr. Ambassador,
Yeah,
I wanted to know, how are we able to distinguish between rumor and fact? Because you've denied several of the facts that we have come to know thus far today. For example, we believe that the government is committing these acts and you say they are not. How are we supposed to distinguish between that? Because I would believe that if the government were committing such acts, that they would try and downplay it as much as possible.
I'm not denying the existence of a problem. I'm not denying existence of atrocities committed here and there, either by the government forces inadvertently or by the rebels themselves. It is a fact of war, unfortunately. It happens even in the more sophisticated situations like the American army in Iraq or in Afghanistan. They bomb, while bombing, they kill civilians, innocent civilians. That happens everywhere in war situations, unfortunately. So we are not immune to that fact. It happens in Sudan. We recognize the existence of the problem. But it is not as exaggerated as you see here in this country, people talking about. In fact, the President Bush lately doubled the number. He started talking about 100,000, 400. So the number is in any war situation. Also, you find this struggle between the rumor and the fact, the real and the perception. In any war situation. But what we should now focus on is the political process and the need for the Tripoli meetings to be crowned with success in order that this very bad episode in the history of the country be another history also.
Gentleman with the tall hand. Yes.
Hi. The International Crisis Group has accused the government of hiding considerable numbers of Janjaweed militants by integrating them into the State Security Council. If the Southern Sudan voted to become independent on the referendum soon, would the government let them become a separate nation, or would they increase the aid of the Janjaweed to stop or hinder them from becoming independent?
What happens if the Southern Sudan in the referendum says independence?
Of course, the two parties, the National Congress, NCP, and the SPLM, in the peace agreement, resolved that whatever the result of the referendum, it should be respected. But, as I said, the possibility is there for the South to secede. It is there. But all efforts are with the unity of the country. It is a commitment. Unity of the country is also the commitment of SPLM as well as the NCP in the north. And all efforts are now directed towards making unity attractive and in order that people will vote for the unity of the country. In fact, this scenario is worrying not only you, but the entire people of Africa and entire Sudanese people, because if such situation happens, it will open Pandora's box in Africa's fragile socio-political systems and will open the door for more fragmentation in the entire continent of Africa. In our neighbors, right, left, and north and south, and in Southern Africa, in Northern Africa itself, and in West Africa. there is a same state structure, same ethnicities, same deprivation, economic deprivation, same marginalization, same economic difficulties. This is why Africa is also resolved, African Union is also in solidarity with signatories of the CPA to make unity attractive, because it will open not only this Pandora's box, but the whole of the entire continent will suffer from the impact of such eventuality.
Gentleman right at the back.
Mr. Ambassador, do you feel that in the United States and its allies and their press, in focusing on the issue of Darfur and Sudan, do you think that they're deliberately deviating the public from knowing about the massive amounts of civilian deaths in both Afghanistan, Iraq, and in Palestine?
Yes, I personally believe in that. That part of the United States concentration on Darfur, the way they are doing now, is to hide what is going on in Iraq, the losses of the government, the losses of the administration. In fact, it's a nightmare in Iraq. So they want to divert attention from what is going also in Afghanistan, in Lebanon, and in many parts in which the United States also failed. The diplomacy of the U.S. failed to come out with any diplomatic success in all these countries and situations. So they want to do something to succeed in one part, in Africa or in Asia. Darfur has been used for that purpose, which is to divert attention from all these problems to Darfur. And as I said, in Sudan, because the issue is very sensational, if you talk about Arabs killing Africans, the country also is an oil exporting country, as you are well aware, and there are a lot of American interest in Sudan. They wanted to. There are a lot of also economic reasons behind this interest by the American administration.
Young lady out here.
Sorry. Okay, so is there anything being done about the numerous internal displaced persons who are trickling into eastern Chad? Second one, if such a propaganda existed to deviate attention from Iraq and Afghanistan, would there not be a decrease in the amount of coverage Iraq receives, and would there not be would there be this comparative minimal prevalence in the attention that Sudan receives? Third one, why would the NGOs waste money and effort towards Sudan, and what do you perceive that they're getting out of such a conspiracy as you claim?
We've allowed you to ask 3 questions only because you're wearing a T-shirt which says Save Darfur.
In fact, we don't want to see Save Darfur. We want to see Empower Darfur. You have to empower Darfur, not to save Darfur. Teach them how to catch fish, but don't give them tons of thousands of wheat. I want you to change it to Empower Darfur, and I will stand with you and may have another T-shirt also dressed in the next encounter like this. Anyway, Chad, many refugees, Sudanese refugees are in Chad, and also many Chadian refugees are in Sudan. As I said, the population setup is quite similar to each other, and also Chad has passed through difficult times. There is civil war in Chad. There is a lot situation in Chad leaves a lot to be desired, as you are very well aware. So the United Nations Security Council lately adopted a resolution on sending also a peacekeeping force, mainly from Europeans, because of course the weight of France. France has a lot of interest in Chad, and it's a colonial, the country that was in Chad during the colonial period, of course. So this issue is covered. You will have a UN peacekeeping operation in northern Chad, in eastern Chad, and northeastern Central African Republic to protect those who are